Okay, a lot of our patients are very knowledgeable. We get nurses and doctors and attorneys, and we really like that many professional people choose us as their surgeon, and I think that's, you know, a little bit flattering. We like that. One of the concerns, though, is lots of our patients are so knowledgeable that when we tell them stuff, it sounds so different than what they've been taught, it hurts, and they have trouble changing their approach. So, for example, many of our patients who are diabetic know very much in detail how to manage their diabetes. So, for example, if I tell a diabetic, I want you to drink sugar in water, like Gatorade and soda pop and things like that, you would say,
no way.
what? Or if you have you're a heart failure patient or a high blood pressure patient, if I tell you I want you to eat extra salt, what? No. So when we get our patients, we have to do a little bit of indoctrination into the Dr. Rutledge way and explain that. And so if you're a diabetic, you often have avoided simple sugars and things like that. And that is a good idea in general, but right after surgery, the surgery is so powerful that it causes fluid losses up to 1, 2, or even 3 pounds a day of fluid coming out. And if you don't replace that fluid, you'll actually become dehydrated and have to go to the hospital and get intravenous fluid. So you have to understand that you're going to have a surgery that's going to cause a massive loss of fluid in the urine. And that's good. But it's so powerful initially you have to replace some of that. And the best way to replace that is with a special mix called oral rehydration solution. Oral rehydration solution is something invented to treat cholera. Cholera is a big diarrheal killer in the third world. People get infected with the bug diarrhea from cholera, and they die just from losing water in their bowel movements. Now, in the United States, if you get cholera, we'd put you in the hospital, we'd have sterile IV fluid and sterile IVs, and we'd give you IV fluid in a vein. But in Bangladesh and Africa and India, they have no IVs. There are no hospitals, no sterile fluids. And they found that those children who are dying of that cholera could be saved by just feeding them something simple: water, sugar, salt, and potassium. And they called that oral rehydration solution, and they've tested all kinds of different stuff, and you can buy oral rehydration solution in the grocery store. It's called Gatorade. So we want our patients to drink Gatorade afterwards, and the sugar is in there to help absorb the water. It helps. And our patients' diabetes gets so much better that the concern about the simple sugars is overwhelmed by the concern about the fluids. So we recommend our patients, even though they're diabetic, drink a sugar-containing fluid after surgery to make sure they're well maintained on their hydration.
And if I'm on 3 shots a day, do I stop the shots right afterwards?
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Right now, your sugars this morning were what?
Oh, 97.
Great. And during the day yesterday, what insulin did you take? What did you take when you woke up in the morning?
Oh, I take the Novolin.
How much?
20 units in the morning, 20 units in the afternoon, and 60 units of Lantus at 9 o'clock.
9 p.m. Okay. So that's like 60, 20, 20, so that's like 100 units total?
Right.
And then do you supplement it depending on your sugars during the day with some regular or anything? That's it. You just take that. And your sugars then are always around 97?
No.
Okay.
No.
Your sugars are often around what?
Probably after I eat about 170.
Okay. All right. And so you've been trained and you know that it's good for you to keep your sugars under control.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right. And do you know what your hemoglobin A1C is?
The last time I did it, it was 7.2.
And do you know that that's good or bad?
I thought it was great because I've had it up to 9.5.
Okay. I know what you think, but what did the doctor say? It's great in comparison to 9.
I know.
But what did he say about the 7?
Can work on it, which
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Okay, so you said a lot of things, and turns out some of them are wrong. Recently, very large-scale studies looked at controlling your sugars tightly versus not as tight. And the death rate, heart attack, and stroke rate weren't improved that much by really aggressively trying to control the sugars. Now, we have gone as scientists back and forth on that issue. But the best thing to do would be to cure your diabetes. And holding your sugar tight or not tight, a hemoglobin A1C of 7 is dangerous. It means you've got a chance over the next couple of years of heart attack, stroke, death, amputation, kidney failure, and blindness from diabetes.
I've had diabetes like 45 years.
Right, and so it doesn't happen right away, but on the other hand, it's coming. Probably. Not for sure, but I mean probably. What does your doctor say? Probably?
Well, he hasn't said anything like that.
No?
He just says keep it down.
What kind of doctor do you have?
Dr. Carl. He's just a
Regular medical doctor? So you don't have like a specialist?
No.
Okay, no, not an endocrinologist. Okay. Well, you might want to check out what I'm saying then. But what I think the research shows is that if you have a hemoglobin A1C of 7, that's an ominous number. It means that your sugar's out of control, and the sugar is coating all kinds of things. It's plugging up the arteries that are going to your eyes. It's plugging up the arteries that go to the brain. It's plugging up the arteries going to the heart, and the arteries going to your feet, things like that. And there is this risk as you get older that you're going to face the complications of diabetes. And so I wouldn't worry about the sugar right after surgery and drinking sugar. Now, in our patients who have lots of insulin, we had a guy sitting here about 2 weeks ago who's a former butcher who has bad diabetes. His sister worked here in the hospital for 25 years, and he had surgery. He was taking 300 units of insulin a day. He had sugars in the morning that were around 300, and he has stopped everything on the day of surgery and hasn't taken anything else since then. And he's cured of his diabetes if you measure by whether or not he's taking any insulin and what his blood sugars are.
That's incredible.
And we got several thousand, let's see, well, we have 5,000 patients and 20% are diabetic and 93% are cured. So we can get you in touch with a lot of cured diabetics if you want to talk to them, and a lot here in town.
And back here?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
let me introduce you to Joe. Can I introduce you? Okay, so Joe came to me. He was the 400 club. He was almost 400 pounds. He was taking almost 400 units of insulin a day. His blood sugars would often run in the 400s. And he also has an automatic implantable defibrillator, which means his heart would stop every so often and it would shock him back to life. And it was going off on average 5 or 6 times a month. Then he had surgery with us, and it was really hard to cure his diabetes, so we bypassed a lot because his diabetes was so severe, and it took about 3 or 6 months.
3 months. 3 months we were pretty close.
Yeah, so about 3 months we cured his diabetes, and since then he has suffered a complication. I made him too thin. But we intentionally bypassed a lot because we wanted to get rid of his diabetes, and he is now, I think, cured of diabetes.
5.8 A1C.
Oh, is that right?
Average blood sugar is about 76.
And you take how much insulin a day now?
No.
Pardon me?
No insulin.
Excuse
no
me?
Vieta, no Ambien, no Amyl, no insulin, no insulin.
Yeah.
And
But
no,
now remember, he had a complication. That's my fault. I
no other
bypassed.
drugs either.
No oral drugs.
You got the reverse? I remember
Revive.
you sitting here.
Revive.
Revise.
Because you lost a lot of weight.
Right. So my fault. But I wanted to cure his diabetes. His heart automatic defibrillator is not gone off in a couple months. So his cardiologist may turn off. In other words, he was needing to get shocked back to life, and now he's not. On the other hand, I did hurt him. My fault. Mea culpa. I'm sorry, because I bypassed too much, which is my fault. I feel terrible about it. On the other hand, we went back and revised it. And how are you doing?
Great.
Getting better?
I got gained 14 pounds. I've increased the exercise to like as much as I have time for.
Good.
Being old work is still a lot.
Good.
Just much stronger. Tolerating a lot more food. Still, every once in a while I have that issue with gurglies and stuff, but yeah, doing better. And I'm taking the extra products for a while.
Good. Oh yeah. Did it help?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay. Good.
And with the Tums. If I take the Prilosec and the Tums, it's pretty much.
Yeah, it usually takes about 2 weeks for that to kick in.
But it's doing way better.
Good. Other questions?